Excellent.
So, mate, you've been a busy boy. Obviously, this market's gone a bit crazy. And I did see a week or two ago a couple of fancy-looking awards. You guys have been getting noticed. Tell me about that.
Well, sure. We're really proud to announce that we have just won Agency of the Year for St George's Basin and Sanctuary Point, 3 years in a row, I might add.
Wow.
And also Individual Agent of the Year for those 2 suburbs, Sanctuary Point and St George's Basin. I think I just put it down to a great team that I've got working with me.
Yep.
It's not all just me, it's a couple of other real key agents, my staff. They love what they do. We love just having people come through the door or get them on the phone and helping them do what they want to do. So,
well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, mate, obviously it has been a busy time. Those reviews are fantastic for you. What are you seeing in the market? Because I know it's been pretty crazy for me, but what's happening on the ground in your area?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. On the ground, we're both seeing what's happening this week, this weekend, this month. I'd like to go back to last year if I can.
All right.
2020 was a pretty tough year for everyone out there. It was scary. It was daunting. It was, times that we've never experienced.
Yep.
We first started off with a pretty serious bushfire, if you remember.
Yeah. 100%. I evacuated several times.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So I think the whole South Coast experienced an event which was just really traumatic.
Yeah.
We all banded together and tried to do fundraising, rebuild, rejoin, and that was terrific until I think February, March hit, and all of a sudden COVID-19 hit.
Yep.
That was also pretty scary.
Yep.
We were watching the media, we were watching the stats online and people predicting a drop of possibly 30% in the real estate market. Hey, that's pretty scary too.
Yep.
It was pretty hard to sell houses when people were saying, no, it's going to drop. But that didn't happen.
No, it didn't.
It stayed pretty stable. It slowed down.
Yep.
People stood back and thought, I'm going to see what happens here.
Yep.
But the end of 2020 was just amazing.
Yep.
I think that leads to where we are now.
Spring quarter was a big quarter for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are, off the top of your head, what are some of the recent stats that you've seen?
So I guess for me, Marty, it's a bit different because I work across a fairly broad stretch of the coast. So my northern patch would be the northern beaches of Wollongong. Austin Mere Thurul did a number of transactions for people leaving Sydney and looking for that sort of first non-Sydney beach house. And that market grew by 35 to 40% last year.
Up to 40%.
Yeah. Depending on which measure you use, 36 or 40. There was an AFR article that quoted 40, and it was incredibly hard buying. But people have had some good capital growth in that market if they're in that market. And it's scary for the local first home buyers who are thinking they may not be able to afford it. So that's at the extreme, and probably a couple of other pockets around Australia, like your Byron Bays and one or two other really idyllic coastal locations, pulled actually pretty big numbers, 30 to 40% last year. If we come back down the coast, I was buying in Kiama, and that's had a 25% year. So big growth in Kiama, and the beach homes in that area have really been in hot demand.
Well, if I can just explain. Usually when we go through a boom, we would see a boom go over 2 or 3 year period.
Yep.
And it would usually go up an amazing 10%, 15% in a 12-month period.
Yep.
The last 6 months, it's gone up 10 to 20% in our local area here.
Yep.
So twice as much in half the time. I think it still is trending upwards.
Yeah, it's not finished. There's no evidence that the market's run out of puff or turning yet. So,
and we're seeing towns like Byron Bay, Coffs Harbour, northern beaches of Wollongong.
Yep.
Those regional towns that are on the map. Huskisson, Vincennia, Jervis Bay are now becoming more and more popular.
Yep.
So are we going to see up to that 40% jump?
Look, I don't have a crystal ball, Marty, and I would be reluctant to predict that big of a number,
sure.
but I definitely think with low interest rates, with people sort of still negotiating with their employers coming out of Sydney or Canberra or Melbourne, making choices about where can I live, where can I work from home, where can I get back to a capital city if I need to. Those coastal markets within 2 hours of the capital cities, there's just no reason to think they're going to slow down just yet.
Yeah.
And that's tricky to say that, but I think it's going to be a big year ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the great features of this Bay and Basin. We're 2 hours from Sydney, we're 2 hours from Canberra, and hey, just further down the coast, it's spectacular as well.
Yep.